The president doesn't just have to win over the American people, he needs to make serious inroads in Congress, as we've just been saying. I spoke with the House Democratic leader just earlier. The president is barnstorming the country, trying to sell this jobs bill. But it looks like the Senate Democrats are not dying to take it up. Why not?
Well, I think the Senate Democrats overwhelmingly are promoting it. There are one or two, a few that may have some concerns about one aspect of it or another. But what's important is the president is taking it to the people. They understand the opportunity it presents, the distinctions between doing something or not, and what it means in their lives.
He keeps saying that I want the people to push this through because he doesn't think it's going to make it in either the Senate or the House.
It never usually does unless you have public sentiment. I'm fond of saying to anyone who will listen, President Abraham Lincoln said, public sentiment is everything. You cannot just persuade people inside maneuvering. You have to have the outside messaging and mobilization so that people know if jobs aren't created, why they're not created.
Now, it's no secret that you were quite disappointed in some of the president's previous public advocacy. Do you now think that there is a pivot that's significant, that there is a new combative president, that he's going out and really doing what you had hoped to uphold the Democratic flag?
I don't remember being ever disappointed in the president, but I do think that he doing more is better.
Do you think the case has been made well enough for accountable government, effective government?
Apparently not, if you look at the figures. But the fact is that we have to revert to a time where we took great respect for what we stood for instead of trying to mischaracterize the other side, question their motivation, their patriotism, and the rest, as you see. So that's why I think it's really important that President Obama get out there very strongly, very clearly about what this jobs bill does and what it means to kitchen table concerns of the American people. Will they have a job? Can they educate their children? What about their retirement? And the rest. But it's a fight. And it's a fight between those who do not believe there should be any government role. As I said, public safety, public education, clean air, clean water, food safety. We see it on the floor of the House every day. Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security. Bless their hearts. The Republicans don't believe, many of them don't believe in the public sector role, and they vote accordingly. The American people have to make a judgment as to what is important to them.
When the American people look in, they see this increasing dysfunction in this building, in this town. At the same time, congressional approval amongst people is at somewhere like 14%, the lowest since, anyway, we've been taking these polls.
I agree with that. Count me among those who object.
Among the 14%?
No, among the others who object to the way Congress is conducting itself.
People, American people, are now occupying Wall Street. They are spreading their protests to various other cities in the United States. They're expressing frustration. They're expressing fear of the joblessness. Do you support them?
Well, I support the message to the establishment, whether it's Wall Street or the political establishment and the rest, that change has to happen. We cannot continue in a way that is not relevant to their lives. People are angry.
I just want to get your reaction to some comments by Eric Cantor today. He said, quote, "I'm increasingly concerned
about the growing mobs occupying Wall Street and the other cities across the country. And believe it or not, some in this town have actually condoned the pitting of Americans against Americans."
I didn't hear him say anything when the Tea Party was out demonstrating, actually spitting on members of Congress right here in the Capitol, and he and his colleagues were putting signs in the windows encouraging them. But let's not get down to that.
But do you think it's pitting Americans against Americans?
Well, it's the American system. It's the democratic system. We don't all agree. We'd have a king if we were all of one mind. We don't. We have different views. And the part of the democracy of our country is the expression that people give, and the Constitution guarantees that.
The story seems now to be one of class warfare. Are you concerned and worried that that is going to be the story going into the elections?
Well, actually, that notion, which I don't like, is one that came from the other side. When we said everyone should pay their fair share, the other side said that's class warfare. No, it's not. It's It's the most endearing American value, fairness. That's about everyone paying their fair share. We all have a responsibility to grow our economy, reduce the deficit, keep us #1. So the very idea that the disparity in income and the disparity of equity and ownership in our country has grown so great. Listen to Ronald Reagan when he talked about how unfair it was for a bus driver to be paying at the same rate as a millionaire. Listen to Ronald Reagan talk about that. He speaks beautifully to the unfairness of that scenario.
Can I just ask you about a little local spat? There was a back and forth between Elizabeth Warren and between Senator Brown in Massachusetts.
To help pay for his law school education, Scott Brown posed for Cosmo. How did you pay for your college education?
I kept my clothes on.
Have you officially responded to Elizabeth Warren's comment about how she didn't take her clothes off?
Thank God.
What did you make of all of that?
The response you just gave, thank God, really I thought spoke volumes about how clueless Senator Brown is. It really spoke volumes about really disrespect for women that he may not even realize. I bet you he'd like to take that comment back.
Did you not think it was kind of jokey from both of them?
Well, I think that she was asked a question, and I hope it's jokey, and if it is, that hopefully he will take that comment back. But women know. They hear a comment like that, it tells you a lot about somebody.
Leader Pelosi, thank you very much indeed for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you.